Hi everyone, welcome to Fridays with Neen.
Fridays with Neen. Fridays with Neen. Every day is Fridays with Neen.
Wow, wow.
Oh, we need to trademark that.
We do. Fantastic. Welcome everyone. Welcome Steph.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here.
I know, and we're all festive. Look at you, genius, starting this.
We were having a little too much fun before hopping on, you guys, because we
We sure
discovered
were.
some virtual backgrounds and little, what
Mm-hmm.
are they called? Not emojis, filters. Oh my God.
Filters, right?
Hilarious. We were
Yeah.
screaming. So who knows what we're going to be next time?
Yeah,
We
who
might.
knows? Oops, I may have a beret. Steph
I
may have
know.
like a pirate like hat
Yeah.
and eye
Maybe I'll be a
patch.
burglar. I don't know, but we're here and we're alive and it's
Oh,
Friday. It's
it
practically New
is.
Year's.
Yes, it is practically New Year's. We're just gonna keep rolling with that whole theme of this year of like, oh my gosh,
I
things
mean,
are
no.
moving like the speed of light.
You know what came up for me the other day in a memory, and it was so busy. I saw it late at night, and so I
Hmm.
couldn't reshare. It was just like I saw it at 11:59, and by the time I got my wits about it, it was already midnight and it was gone. But it was
Hmm.
the memory of the post that I shared, that the picture that we took when we decided to do this journey together. That happened the other day, last
Oh
week
my
or something.
gosh.
And it's just like I feel like that was just yesterday, and then we just dropped episode 94. So this episode right here
What
is
a
episode
trip.
95. How?
Ugh,
How?
I know for real how, because I feel like we straight up just started this. And, I was looking at our stats yesterday and I'm like, gosh, it's crazy to think like last week alone, like the number, it's like over 1,000 of people downloaded our podcast last week. And it's insane to think that that many people are listening to our stuff.
That scares me, and I'm so excited by that feeling because
Yes.
I love, when when you're happy and you're comfy and you're like,
Hmm.
um you
Uh-huh.
miss that like nervousness, that excitement. And
Hmm.
when we decided to do this together, I mean, I was so flippin' excited because I get to
Hmm.
see you more, and this
Yes.
with you, and we have like this special like thing. We have this
Right.
pizzazz when we start talking
That's
to each other.
perfect. We
You know
sure
what I
do.
mean? So like
Hmm.
I was so excited, but I was terrified. I was like, oh my God, like people are gonna hear us be weird. And like, is that okay? And I love it
Right.
because we're so weird, and many people may not get it because sometimes I forget that my sense of humor, like if you don't know, if we're just getting to know
Hmm.
each other, you might be like, is she okay? Like when I say, oh my God, I just want to like throw you onto oncoming traffic. That doesn't
Right.
mean I hate you. That means you're so freaking cute. I just can't take it anymore.
Exactly.
You know
And
what I
that's
mean?
and I mean, and hello, you've been doing that since I've known you. So
Yeah. I've been violent, I guess,
yeah.
ever since.
No, I
So
get it. And but some people just don't understand that.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think they really do now and they
I think
love
so.
us.
This is amazing. Thank you guys so much for like hanging out with us and
Hmm.
like, and letting us like reminisce on the best decade ever. You know what I mean? Like this is
Yeah,
like the freaking best. When I see
I
those
agree.
TikToks, like I don't know if you the one from that I posted today, high school in 98. That
Hmm.
felt so like I felt cozy. Like I feel so
Yes.
privileged that we went to high school in the 90s.
Right? No, same here. I just feel, especially when you think about how much it's changed, right?
Yeah.
And gosh, when you look back at those, it's like it makes me remember when we were in high school and how, I don't know, that feeling of something you didn't really understand or appreciate when you were in it until you
Yeah.
were out of it and were like even a few years after, like even entering like the college scene.
Yeah.
Like,
It
that was
was
overwhelming.
it was too big,
Yeah,
like
exactly, and you can't get, like, those bonds that you can in high school,
right.
and it's just oh gosh, it's just I don't know, it is a warm, cozy feeling, I'd have to agree.
Yeah, and just everything. And the fact that we get to do this week in and week out and people are actually vibing with it is so
Mhm,
special. So
I agree.
thank you guys for letting us
Mhm,
continue doing this because
yes.
we ain't going nowhere. Okay. We can talk about everything and anything forever.
No, for real. And someone had told me a couple weeks ago randomly, I don't know who it was my cousin. Someone had mentioned and they're like, "Oh my God, I love your podcast. You guys are amazing." And you guys literally grew up in the 90s. So you guys don't even have to talk specifically about 90s stuff. You could talk about whatever. And I go, "Yeah, of course." I was like, the sky's the limit. And I think that's something that we can always deviate like
Yeah,
when we want to. It's our podcast,
exactly.
because we are, and I love how even when we don't talk specifically about something like in the 90s, even like with Fridays with Neen,
Yeah.
somehow like something in the 90s comes up, you
Yes.
know, and it's just who we are. It's ingrained in us. I mean, those are our roots, even though, like we say, we were born in the 80s, but our prime was in the 90s.
Hmm.
And
Definitely.
the sky's the limit for us.
I love it. I can't we are the 90s.
Hmm.
Damn it.
We are. So back up, everyone, because hello. Have you
Yeah.
listened to us lately? It's
Yeah.
amazing. And
Yeah.
crime talk. Uh,
I love you.
no, for real. And it's so funny. I've learned a lot too. It's made me think about a lot of things. And one thing I do want to bring up, not to bring the mood down, but as a lot of people realize by listening to us, we record sometimes a couple days earlier than the day that it's airing. But there was a shooting today, and I just wanted to bring that up real quick because I just wanted to like just remember that it's just an ongoing issue, and it's scary. It really is.
What?
This
Where?
was at UNLV, so the University of Las
Are you
Vegas.
serious?
Yeah, there's an active shooter. There's really not much information going on right now. Like, I don't know. They said multiple victims, but I don't know. A lot of times they say that and then there's like one or two, and it doesn't make it any better. It's still horrible, but it's just sad that people that go to school, whether it be a grade school, high school, or college, that we even have to deal with it at the magnitude that it is lately. And it's
It
frightening.
it's so scary. And like, do you recall, maybe we were too little, like school shootings in the 80s?
Mm-mm,
Isn't
I
that
don't.
crazy? Like, I feel
No.
like I tie it to Columbine. Like, I feel like
Yeah,
that's
that's the
like,
first one I've ever heard. Like, honestly, that, and I remember because I was out sick that day, and that was the first time I ever even, I was like, oh my gosh, this can actually happen.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
Isn't
I
that
mean, was
what
that
does
even
that
a
say?
thing before?
I can't even, I can't say. I don't remember. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Because
What the fuck?
okay, so when you think of the 80s, what kind of crimes do you think of?
Kidnappings.
Exactly. Right? And I feel like maybe every single, because like, okay, how about the 90s?
Kidnappings and serial killers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like,
exactly. And and I feel like in the 2000s, it's going to be this stuff is
yeah,
active shooters.
yeah, you're right.
And not that one is better than the other, but they all have their own things. But I just think that this is depressing just with the amount of people that suffer, you know? I mean, I was looking at something yesterday and how it was like old footage of 9/11,
Mm.
and how I don't know if people were on Ellis Island and somehow this footage came about, but it was a different angle of how the plane hit the
Oh,
towers.
yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And so Presley had learned about this in school this year. And she came home, and I remember she was like, do you remember? Do you know what 9/11's about? And I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, I was alive during then. And so she goes, oh my gosh. So she was looking at the video and she saw it and she goes, oh, like complete and utter shock that that actually happened.
Oh my
Right.
God. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I was like, it's so crazy how when you're living through those things, you don't realize how um devastating it is, but not just for like the people like looking, but imagine being a child and knowing that your parent was at the top of that building. That's where they worked, and having to witness that over and over again. I'm like, and it's like these active shooters, the active, like you don't know. is it my kid? Is it my wife? Is it my husband? You know, and not having answers for hours sometimes because maybe they left because they don't have their cell phone, or you never know. The world we live in is pretty crazy lately.
It really is. It nothing surprises me anymore because we lived through so much. Like
Mhm.
babies of the 80s, we've seen a lot.
Okay.
You would think that it would just pause at Columbine, but and 9/11,
Mhm.
but no, then we lived through coronavirus, like and all that.
Mhm. Yeah.
And it's just intense. Like we're built differently.
Yeah, we are. And I was thinking about that too. When you think of all the things that we've dealt with, no wonder we have such anxiety,
Yeah.
because when we were younger, I don't remember hearing a lot about anxiety at all.
No.
But now everybody's on edge.
Yeah, and it's more like I don't know. I feel like people feel comfortable sharing it. It's more
Mhm.
like regular now.
Right.
Common.
Mhm.
It's more common to hear because people aren't ashamed, I don't think.
Mhm.
Because when I was little, I had my first panic attack. I didn't know what it was. Then I
Mhm.
went to a counselor and all that stuff, and I understood that they were panic attacks and then anxiety tied into it about whatever like was making me anxious at the time. But I
Mhm.
was embarrassed to talk about it.
Mhm.
So I didn't feel comfortable until my late 20s, I think, to like
Mhm.
say I'm dealing with this.
Right.
And now
Exactly.
everyone has anxiety
Mhm.
because we're all comfortable sharing it.
Yeah, exactly. And in a way, I mean, it's a good thing. And I feel like knowledge is power, and it's important when you know how to be around people that have anxiety, and understand
Mm-hmm.
why, or how to help someone that's going through that you
Mm-hmm.
know um like, for example, now I think I told you this, like, Tony doesn't really know anything about anxiety because he hasn't experienced it, so. And I think sometimes it's one of those things, unfortunately, that you hear about it so much that it becomes oversaturated in a way to where people don't take it seriously, and it becomes somewhat offensive with how people treat it now.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
people kind of don't take it seriously anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a huge thing. And I was just thinking that I was like, gosh, all the things that we've had to deal with, especially like to think we went through a freaking pandemic, that's pretty crazy.
A
And we live to
lockdown.
tell the tale.
We lived to tell the tale when the whole city went black. When the whole
Yes.
did it go black by you?
Mm-mm.
Okay,
No.
but still you lived through it because you saw it. You're like, what the fuck is happening over here? Like we lived through that. That's doesn't happen.
So
Like
wait,
what?
so the day that happened, can you tell me what exactly was going through your head, or how did you, like, when you woke up in the morning, were you like, what's going on?
I was terrified. I was like, oh my god, it's the rapture.
And I never wasn't taken.
I know. I was like, we're here. We're the last ones. It was so quiet because it was already
Wow.
quiet. It was the pandemic. Um, it was a time when everyone shut the fuck up and stayed indoors. Okay,
Yeah,
like the fact
exactly.
that oceans cleared up because humans don't know how to behave
Yeah,
says a
what does that
lot.
say? Hmm.
So the morning that I woke up and it was deathly quiet, I was like, holy shit, we're what? I
Hmm.
was so scared. But then I saw the news and I was like, oh thank God.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it
Oh
was
my
so
God.
scary. And it was all day. And then the power was out in our building, like the main power, like in the hallway. So it was pitch black out there.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, it was not a it was scary.
Oh,
Then it
that
was
is so.
cool, but then it was like, is it gonna go back to normal anytime soon?
Wow. So wait, is this the day that it turned orange?
Yes.
Okay. So that was caused by the fires,
Fires.
right?
Yeah.
Because, and it's crazy, like, because we've had experiences even over here where it's orange, not to that extent, but that was so eerie. It was like I don't know. It kind of reminded me of like the dust from 9/11 when it was so dark and, but I can't even imagine opening your shades. I mean, like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
You're like, excuse me?
Yeah. I mean, to top it, and that was in 2020, right?
Yes.
Oh my
So we were
gosh.
all raw and scared already. We're
Yeah.
like, what now?
Right? Because I remember Tony and I taking a drive to San Francisco just to like drive around, just see what it was like because it was so desolate. Like to see the city like that was eerie, where nobody was talking to one another. No one was on the streets. There was nobody in stores.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
remember people would cross the street to avoid one another? I miss
hmm,
those days. Now everyone's all, hi,
right?
how's it going? Ugh, get away from me.
You're like, back up. You talking to me?
I really shined in 2020. I was like, these are my people. I remember me and Angel were out walking Roni, and I was walking a little behind her because Roni likes to like smell and whatever. And so I was walking a little bit behind, and some woman was like 6 feet
Oh,
to me. And I was like, excuse me, ho, that's my
right?
wife.
Wow. See, and that's the thing. To each its own, right?
Yeah.
And it's so funny because, and I'm glad you were like the last people that I saw
Yeah.
before the
Because
pandemic.
we shut down the next day.
Uh-huh. That crazy. We partied it up that
We sure
night.
did. And we had hella food for days. So we were secure.
Mm-hmm. Right? And it was so crazy because you didn't know if you should or you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Oh
Hella people were
God.
canceling at the last minute, but then hella people came and we were like, okay.
Yeah, you had a full house.
Yeah.
Not the best for maybe a breeding zone of COVID, but we all came out
We
fine.
were
Oh God, I don't know. But, those are all things we'll carry with us. And it's funny because I even told Presley, I remember when she went back to school after COVID,
oh
when COVID was still happening, and she went back in summer or September of that year. And she was like, yeah, do you think COVID's ever going to end? Like, when will things go back to normal? I remember her telling me that, and it made me so sad. And I was just like, you know what? It will get better. We just have to be careful and maintain, a certain sense of security to protect ourselves, but it will get better. I go, but in a way, it's kind of cool. I was like, because when your kids are little and they read about this stuff in their history books, you'll be able
oh
to tell them, I lived through that. Like
yes.
literally, I was taken out of school. My mom had to homeschool me. I didn't go to school for this many months. I said, it's, something you're going to carry with you forever and you're a part of history,
Yeah.
and you live to tell about it. And she was like, I never thought about it that way, and it is cool,
Oh,
So,
oh
anyways, I did want to share something with you real quick.
yeah.
So, as we get older, and
Oh
in the last
shit.
Fridays with Neen, we were talking about
We
perimenopause.
sure were.
And one of the side effects, because of the lack of estrogen, right? And I guess, what's the other one? Not
Progress
estrogen, progesterone or whatever.
progesterone or something. What is my voice
Like,
gonna get deeper?
I don't know, but
Oh,
hair starts to grow, like we said, in places,
yes.
and especially on our face.
Oh, great, because I'm already a hairy beast as it is. Great.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be
So
busy mowing my face even more. Okay. Uh-huh.
mowing. So went to Ulta, right? And I don't know where I saw this, but I was either watching someone on an Instagram live, I don't know, but she showed this specific device and I found it and it's amazing. It's called Flawless
Mm-hmm.
and it's this little tube and it's like a razor, but it's for your face.
Amaze. Okay.
And literally all you do is circle or here or here.
Does it hurt?
No. And I'm telling you, smooth as a baby's bottom,
Okay,
as though you
I
waxed.
need someone else to try it and tell me you're bald. You don't have hair.
Chewbacca, come at me. I'm
Okay.
telling you, this shit will take away. There's not even like stubble because like I'm not really, I wouldn't use like
You don't have
Tony's
hair.
razor. I did. You could ask Tony. I had hair, little like peach
Peach
fuzzies.
fuzz. Peach
Uh-huh.
fuzz. Okay, but
Yes.
not like, okay.
No, I had hairy, curly, and mo on my chin
Oh, you're so
too.
cute.
And I was like, bam, 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 gone. Gone.
How much is that puppy?
This was 1999.
Not bad.
So the only thing is like on your chin,
Ugh.
okay, if you get one, and I'm sure
Yes.
women know about this, if you do this, I have a little tip. So over time, like plucking,
Yeah.
okay, if over time your hair might not grow back because you're
Uh-huh.
pulling out the root, right?
Ugh.
So if you do this, sometimes you may get stuck with a little like,
Spike.
yeah, or right. So it's not a very what do you call it, strong root that you have there.
Okay.
So I know it may sound disgusting, but if you pop it out like a pimple, you can actually take out the hair instead of having to pluck it. So like you get
You
it
can't
like
see
you would
my
a
face.
pimple
How do
and
you
you
do that?
take
I
out
never
the
thought to
hair,
do that.
it will come right out and it
Really?
doesn't hurt at
D
all. It's
d
just you see it and you just take it like with your nail. You could even just even like
Ew, don't say pull it out.
no, you don't have to pull it out. It'll glide right out.
But only if you
Literally.
use this product
Oh
or
no, even if you were to shave, I'm sure,
I'm gonna
and you
try
have something
this.
left like a
Yeah.
um you'll see it and it'll like I'm trying to think of what you could use a bobby pin or even I think they have like those
Ew.
pimple things that you can like Dr. Pimple Popper
Yeah.
uses and you could like press it against it and it'll come out. So
Okay.
I'm just saying I'm
I
just
never knew that.
it's a good stocking stuffer for those you may know going
Nice.
through the change.
Sign me the hell up. I just got an Ulta
So,
gift card, so mama's gonna go
yes.
shopping.
Uh-huh. Because they have some that are different, but
Yeah,
this one,
Ross sells a bunch, but who
yeah,
knows if
no.
those work.
This one, fire.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And you know what? I'm gonna try it on Tony and I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Try on his
So
five
on
o'clock
Tony.
shadow.
Please do. I'm curious.
So, anyways, moving on to Fridays with Noon,
Oh
our topic
yeah.
today. I'm going to end it on a note of, 'tis the season, like our lights behind us, and the holidays. But I just wanted to ask a couple questions, have some good convo, and then we'll end it with some holiday stressors, some tips on how to go about it, and voila, right? So, my first question for you, Steph, and this is just a random question, kind of like,
Uh-oh.
remember my fishbowl that I had
Yes.
back in the day? So, do you believe being a parent or even with your parents, were you ever friends with them? Do you believe in the concept of, because some people that are parents, right, believe you should be your kid's best friend? And do you believe that works? Do you think that's a good thing? Do you think that's something that can backfire in the future?
I think that because I would say that my mom's my best friend, but she also is a mom, like
Mm-hmm.
first and foremost. And I think that's how it needs to be. Because if you're just a best friend's not gonna like discipline when you need to. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like you're not going to discipline me. You're not going to be like go to your room or whatever the hell or don't do
Okay.
that, and I
Mm-hmm.
feel like you need to be a parent first. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
have kids, but this is how my mom did it, and I
Yeah.
think that's the way it should be. What do you think?
Oh, completely. I think that I'm along same lines as you. I think that both of our moms, like we're close to both of our moms. Obviously, both of our moms had different ways of parenting us, but I think that along the same lines is that, my mom was my mom first. And now that I'm older and we're older, they're our best friends, right? And I think that's how it should be.
Yeah,
But I would never want to be best friends with my kid. And I
right.
think that some people do that and it becomes, at first, it seems great, but then it becomes unhealthy because
Yeah,
now your kid's looking at you like, oh, well, you let me do this. And now you're trying to
exactly.
discipline me?
Exactly.
Sorry, no.
Backfire.
And I think that a lot of times nowadays, especially even when you look like if I'm looking on some of the videos that Presley's watching on YouTube, even though I'm monitoring it, um, a lot of the kids and their parents act like friends.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a thing nowadays with parenting. And, I'm not trying to be cool. Look, of course I'm trying to be cool with my daughter. Like I'm trying to show her certain things, like when we're jamming on our way to school and I'm listening to NSYNC or Backstreet Boys and she's looking at me crazy. And I'm like, no, I was cool back then, okay, knowing all these jams, right? And she's like, whatever, mom, right? But I'm not trying to be to where, oh my gosh, you're my bestie and
Yeah.
uh-uh.
You're not Amy Poehler and Mean Girls. I'm not like a regular
No.
mom. I'm a cool mom. You're not doing that shit.
No, exactly, because it will backfire. And I just think that it's funny how sometimes, like, as we go through, especially like for me, like being a parent, I think sometimes we always, and I was talking to someone about this the other day, like, I think sometimes maybe we haven't had a good upbringing, or maybe, the ways, like, even with my mom, I had a great upbringing, but my mom was very strict,
Yeah.
and I could go about it the way of wanting to make it completely opposite of how my mom made my childhood, and making it as though, like, okay, well, everything my mom did, I'm going to do the opposite.
I like my
But
mom. My mom did that.
mhm. And in some ways it could work. But at the same time, like with me, I see things that maybe my mom did that didn't work for me. And I want to make it different for Presley. But it doesn't mean that we have to be best friends. I feel there's always going to be a time when she's older that if I do a good job parenting when she's little, she'll want to be my best friend when she's older.
That's like me and my mom. That's
Right.
exactly what happened. Exactly. I think that's the
Mhm.
secret sauce.
Yes.
Definitely.
And I always think like, okay, you have to not be careful, but the way you raise your children, you want them to be there for you when you're older.
Hmm.
Like they always say, like once you start to get older, you kind of revert back to how you were when you were a kid. You know, now your kids are the ones that are going to be taking care of you.
Right.
Right. So if you are a shitty mom, or if you are a shitty parent, or you are mean, chances are sometimes their kids will be like, I don't care. Like, I don't care what happens. I'm going to throw you in a convalescent home. Like, there's some people that are like that,
Yeah.
which will actually, we're segueing into my next question. Could you ever put
No,
your parents into a convalescent home?
that would be a very loud and a
Mhm.
ratchet response, which is fuck no. No.
Amen.
My parents are in
Amen.
here with me. They're
Mhm.
divorced. I don't care. They're both here with
Mhm.
me. Okay. In twin beds.
Absolutely. Mhm. Absolutely. I understand that sometimes there has been situations I know where, like, if they're in a hospital and they're very sick and they have to do some sort of rehab, sometimes if the hospital can't keep them, they will put them into a convalescent home. I still don't agree with that. I feel like you could bring them home and have a nurse, right? But I'm the same way. And I've heard from people where they're like, it's too much of a burden.
Oh,
That's going to impact my life at home and my family.
no.
Therefore, they're going to have to be in a convalescent home.
I'm
And I
sorry.
think that is one of the shittiest things that anybody could do.
I hope every single person that has uttered those words gets like really bad diarrhea permanently. How dare
Yes.
you?
And I hope their asses get thrown in a convalescent home.
Exactly. Then they'll be crying.
Yes, because I'm like, how can you do that? Like, I will say that, I'm not going to go into detail because there's not no point in that. But like when my grandma was
The way you said
when my
that.
grandma was sick and she was older, right? Yeah, there were some issues with my mom and her siblings. And one of the things that I always would tell my mom is, why not get a nurse, right? Because I feel like when you get a nurse, there's nothing more stressful than when you are taking care of someone. I get it. I saw my dad. I witnessed my dad taking care of his uncle, who was pretty much his dad growing up.
Hmm.
And if you look at pictures from the time that my dad wasn't taking care of him until the time when my uncle passed away, my dad, over a period of like 5 years, aged like 20 years. And it was mind blowing to me looking at these photos, which was only like 3 or 5 years. But he
Wow.
aged so much having to take care of my uncle. And it wasn't that he didn't like to, but it's a lot on one person. And the thing
Sorry.
is and the thing is that it's crazy to me though that, like my dad always said, that I would never put my uncle in a convalescent home. If anything, if we had to take a mortgage out on the house, if we had to do whatever we had to do to make sure he was taken care of, it would be done at home. Like I would not be able to live with myself, right? And like with my mom, I was saying, sometimes when you see older people, they need that care that's not their children, right? Because children and taking care, sometimes those two don't mix. And I feel like you want to have, especially towards the end of someone's life, you want to have quality time with those people, with your mom or your dad. The last thing anybody ever wants to feel like towards the end is an effing burden. And that was the one thing my dad always said is, I hope that I pass away before I become a burden for you. And no, and honestly, even if he was incapable of walking or
Yeah.
talking or wiping his butt or whatever it may be, he would never be a burden.
Never.
And
Because
neither
that's
would
where
my
we
mom.
differ from these people.
Exactly. And it's insane to me how with older people and when we get older and we get our own families, our own responsibilities, our own lives, somehow we forget, not all, but some people forget what our parents have done for us,
Hmm.
and it's just so heartbreaking to see that some people don't understand the value of taking care of your loved one, especially towards the end, and having them at home in a place that's safe, that's joyful,
Yeah.
right?
It's they forget because they're so stressed out in the moment. And then when that person does eventually pass away, then it's all, oh, no, I'm not feeling
I'm gonna
sorry for
miss
one
her.
of you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
no, I can't. I
Phew.
can't because you should have
Don't
been
even
there
get
for
me.
them when they were alive.
Exactly.
And that's the thing when there's multiple siblings, like especially like with my grandma, there was 15. And yes, some couldn't, maybe help. But when you have enough, that should be enough to help monetarily or just to go and spend time with them, and our feelings and our emotions and getting our feelings hurt because so and so said this or did that should never get in the way. And it should never be even presented in front of our loved one,
Hmm.
our parents or our grandparents, even,
I agree.
and it's sad. And, when you think about it, it's just so sad how you see that a lot. I
Yeah,
have a
we
friend whose mom is a nurse, and she used to work in a convalescent home. And it's so sad the amount of people that are just there and never get visited, you
oh,
know?
that breaks my heart.
And one thing about convalescence
Oh,
home, they need to do better because they don't have TVs, they don't have nothing. It's up to the family to bring in those things
so what do they
for someone that
do?
they're just sitting there in a room.
Oh my
Now,
God.
I don't know if it's gotten better, but I've been to a few where there's like nothing in those places. And and I just feel like, if you have a heart, do something for your loved ones. I'm right there with you, Steph, and I personally could never ever let my parents go into a convalescent home ever. The only way
Never.
they would be in one is if I was in there with them.
The only way they would be in one is if I was no longer on this earth.
Exactly. Yes, I
I
agree.
would sell
No.
everything. Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
No, for
Mm-mm.
real. I agree 100%. So, the second thing I wanted, no, actually, that's actually the third. The third thing I wanted to talk about, and that is the holidays.
Ugh.
So, as we know, for some, the holidays is fun. It's exciting. It's all, peppermint mochas and, ice skating. Okay.
Earmuffs.
Yes, exactly. But for some, it's not always the case. Um, for you, okay, um, when you think of the holidays, what do you think of?
I
You love the holidays?
I do love the holidays. It's hard because my parents are divorced and it's stressful because I don't want, I tend to like have my mom over
Hmm.
for like Christmas Eve and stuff, but I don't ever want my dad to feel like I love her more or whatever. That's just
Yeah.
what we've been doing. Because my mom used to hate the holidays and now she loves them because we make it
Hmm.
fun for her and that's all I
Yeah,
want.
exactly.
But it's been, since I got married, it's stressful because, my wife has her family in another country. And so now
Yeah.
it's not just, I spend time with my mom and then I dart over to my dad's and now we
Hmm.
dart on to the airport and go. And so
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
a little tiring.
Hmm.
It's a little exhausting, the actual event of Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and etc.
Hmm.
But the whole month is typically fun. Like I like to decorate our
Hmm.
home. I get cozy. The puppies are here.
Hmm.
I'm very, very festive. Like I do like
Hmm.
theme classes and for Zumba. I go all out. I see the angels taking me to the Nutcracker again. Like I just
Aw,
all of
how
it. Sign me
cute.
the hell up. But it's also a stark reminder, like, man, it'd be easier if my parents were still married. And I get sad about it. I'm 42 and I
Hmm.
fantasize about my parents still being married. Like it's
Of
like
course.
and it's
You.
hard on me. It's like
Hmm.
wow, and I feel like since I started seeing when I went to go see my therapist and started really addressing all these things, it's like wow, I never really like did address it, like that it
Hmm.
really affected me. And so now that I have, it's been harder. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, look, this wound. Okay.
Hmm.
So it's a love stress relationship that I have. And
It
the
was.
long answer.
So, was there ever a time? I mean, this is just a random question. Was there ever a time that you didn't spend a holiday with your parents at all?
When my dad and I weren't speaking, because there was a period where I
Oh,
didn't
that's
see my
right.
dad. So there was
Hmm.
that. Yeah, in prior relationships, we'd take off. Like we
Hmm.
would make the Christmas holiday about us. Like we'd
Hmm.
travel, we'd go to
Right.
Tahoe or stay
Hmm.
home or whatever. Like it
Yeah.
was, yeah. So yeah, because my mom, like I said, she wasn't into it.
Hmm.
And so she was cool just like chilling at her house, like so she'd
But
be like,
see,
nah, I
isn't
don't
it
want to do
funny how
anything.
when you have the right partner, it changes
Yes.
the vibe?
Oh my God. I do things that I never thought I'd do.
Exactly. And no, I'm the same way. Like, obviously and ours is very intimate. Like we just stay home.
Yeah.
And I can't even imagine though, like having to go to all these different homes, right? And trying to like separate your time, and because you don't want to hurt someone's feelings. And then when you get married, and like you said, it's even harder when you have someone in another country whose family is from another country, because it's not just 30 minutes away.
Mm-mm.
It's like you have to find time to make sure that it's balanced, and you want to see both. But that is a huge stressor. Like, I can't even imagine, like, for real. And, I think that, along with many other things, are huge factors when it comes to holidays, right? Just a real tidbit, real quick. According to NAMI, which is the National Alliance on Mental Health, they found that 64% of individuals living with mental illness reported that conditions worsened around the holidays.
Mm.
Why do you think that's the case? What are some factors?
Anxiety. I
Mm-hmm.
I hate to fly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sick like when
Mm-hmm.
we have to go.
Yeah.
So and then I have to medicate. And
Mhm.
then then I get homesick. Like I'm a 42-year-old baby who's addicted to her parents. I don't see them every day, but I'm like,
Hmm.
I'm not in the same country as them. Like I'm a total baby. So I'm like, oh my God. And then I worry
I
that
am
our
the
house
same
is gonna
way.
burn down, or I miss the puppies and
Hmm.
like my bed and our bidet. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like shit like that. So like
Of
I think
course.
anxiety levels, yeah,
Spike.
skyrocket.
Absolutely. Well, 55% of Americans actually struggle with also holiday loneliness,
Oh,
which, you hear about that a lot. And, it's so funny because when I was reading about this and we were talking about like mental health and how people struggle with it, I think too, it's a lot of it too is just stress as far as like anxiety, money issues,
mm-hmm.
the fact that there's all this stress for purchasing things. And it makes you really miss the point of the whole holiday season and why Christmas is what it is.
Yeah.
I just feel like Christmas should be like basically an extension of Thanksgiving, right?
Yes.
You're just happy to be around your family, they're healthy, you know, and you just get to spend time with them and appreciate one another.
Exactly.
Giving someone a gift if you can't afford it really defeats the whole purpose of this holiday.
Mm-hmm.
And, when you look at the media and just social media and everything about it and what, the retailers and what they're pushing at you, you know, it really does cause a lot. And I think a lot of times people just don't want to deal with anyone, and loneliness is a huge thing. Another thing that actually is a myth,
Mm.
and I always thought it was true, was according to the New York Post, they stated that holiday suicides are actually a myth.
Really
December
interesting.
actually has the fewest suicides of any month, which blew my mind because I feel like that's all we hear about is how people are lonely. They're really down and out during the holidays, which, yes, they can be. But I feel like, the media tends to create a frenzy and hypes up suicide to where it's like people think, oh my gosh, this is where people decide to take their lives because they're all alone.
Right.
Um, and I personally, they do say that springtime is actually the time where people commit the most suicides.
Interesting.
I personally don't want to even say that. Like, I feel like you just never know. It's like
Yeah.
anything else. There could just be times or seasons where, people happen to unfortunately take their lives more often. Um, but, when you think back to last year when Twitch, the dancer, took his life, right? He committed suicide. It was a few days before Christmas. And that's all you heard about was, oh, well, this is the time of year when people decide to commit suicide.
I mean, I would think so.
I would think so too. But it's crazy that, that's not the case. But I do think that it is a time, obviously, where if you're alone, your parents have passed away, you maybe just broke up with someone. It's the time where you really feel alone.
Yes.
And, maybe you may not go to that extent, but maybe the thoughts there, but just feeling alone and just feeling like you don't have anybody, kind of like, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was on Home Alone. Remember when he's walking through the neighborhoods and he's by himself and
Oh
you're
yeah.
looking through those windows and you see all the
Yes.
families and,
Yes.
and for me, like I was telling Tony, I said, even for Thanksgiving, I said, do you know anybody that maybe is by themselves, And Tony's like, not that I could think of. And I said, because that's one thing for me. In a couple places where I've worked before, I've invited people over for dinner if I knew they were going to be alone. I just feel like, you know, if you can open your doors to people, no one deserves to be by themselves during the holidays. And if you know that maybe someone's not from here or their families, from another country or another state, and maybe they're just going to be home by themselves, even if they want to be alone, at least ask. If you're
Hmm.
going to be making dinner and a spread, maybe they're just waiting for someone to ask them to come over,
Yeah.
hey, an invite. Um, so here are some reasons I'm going to bring up. Here are some reasons why people stress out and how to manage holiday stress. Because I feel like sometimes once you're in the thick of it, it's hard to get out of it. And
Right.
one of the number one stressors is actually so many things that you have to do and finish at work, and you
Yes.
have so little time.
Right. Because it's the end of the quarter and the end of the
Mhm.
year. Yes, definitely.
Exactly. Cause, and I think too, cause you want to take time off.
Hmm.
So, that just lessens the amount of days that you have things to get done. So some people, so they were saying that one of the good things to do is if you can look at your calendar in advance, take some time off if possible, and prioritize your time, prioritize your productivity. So if you know that your vacation's coming up, don't do what Justine would normally do and wait until that Friday to do it all. Plan out your day. So this way, if you can't go to lunch, then don't go. You know, if you maybe have to stay a little bit later on a Monday or Tuesday to, make sure you get out at 5 on a Friday so you could start your vacation, then do so.
Right.
Right. Be vocal, talk to your boss. Maybe, you know what, my calendar's looking a little bit too busy. Please, I'd rather not have too much of a workload. Is that okay if this can be done later?
Hmm.
Right. I think just open communication. I think a lot of us put a lot of stress on ourselves. And on top of the holiday stress, it's really not necessary if, it doesn't have to be. So
Yes.
that's one thing that they say. Also make sure to, get a lot of sleep. Make sure
Yes.
to
Stay hydrated.
stay hydrated for sure. That's always good in every aspect. Also, if you can work remote, hey, the pandemic helped a lot of people. And, that's the thing I don't get is a lot of companies don't allow their, you know, what is it, their employees to work remote anymore. But it was able to be done
Exactly.
when we
We
were at the
proved
height of
it.
pandemic.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if it's a possibility, ask if it will help, right?
Yeah.
Navigate your family conflict is number two. Spending time with loved ones can be one of the greatest joys of the winter holidays, but it can also be some of the most stressful time ever. So manage family time, set your boundaries, which I think is so important. You know,
Uh-huh.
make sure to carve out some time for yourself, but put limitations. Like if you're going with your husband or your wife, say, okay, we're going to go over here, but we're only spending this amount of time,
Hmm.
right?
Or if you want to spend longer,
Hmm.
I'm gonna exit and that's okay.
Exactly. You should never have to feel forced to stay somewhere that you don't feel comfortable,
Exactly.
right? Especially too, because like holiday traditions are different for people, you know,
Hmm.
and it doesn't mean that because we have different holidays or ways of celebrating, it doesn't mean that you have to be forced to do those things. And I think just open communication with your partner is key. I think a lot of times, and I think that's why it causes such chaos sometimes in relationships, is because we feel forced.
Yeah.
You should want to do these things. You shouldn't feel like you have to, you know, and people shouldn't get all like, upset and hurt.
Mm.
Their feelings shouldn't get hurt because of these things. It's ridiculous. That's not what the holidays are about. Practice acceptance. And I think this is a big one. Sometimes we may not like certain situations, we may not like certain people that are there, right? But I think that, we have to also think of like the positive things, like, okay, maybe grandpa's going to be there, grandma, and maybe they're older, or you don't get to see your parents as often, and maybe that annoying aunt's going to be there, but at least
Hmm.
you get to spend time with those family members that you don't usually get to see or spend time with. And these are
Mm.
memories that will count down the road,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Number three is struggling with gift giving, financial strain, or commercialism. So that's kind of like what I said earlier. When you add up the costs of gifts, decorations,
Oh,
food, and holiday travel, it's no surprise that nearly half of people surveyed named financial concerns as their main source of holiday stress. And
yeah.
I would agree.
I
The
agree.
pressure can weigh especially heavily on women because
Hmm.
they're the ones that are freaking expected to make the freaking holiday magic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cooking, cleaning, decorating, getting the freaking presents. Yes.
Tell me about it because you know what? Presley has an elf.
Well,
She doesn't have just one elf. Girlfriend has four and two
why?
babies
Two
because I'm
babies.
psycho. Her elves just had twins.
Oh my God, Neen. Wait, is this the thing where you have to hide the stupid elf somewhere every
Yes.
day?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Do you have to do it?
Yes.
I'm
hmm
tired for you.
I'm exhausted. And it was fun at first.
Yeah, of course. I would do that
And
shit too, but I would stop. I'd be like, they moved to freaking the North Pole permanently.
oh no, if she can't find an elf, she'll be like, I'm worried. What if they lost their magic? I'm really concerned. Like so
Oh,
concerned. It's
baby.
so I don't know. I don't know. It's a lot. And it's stressful. It's not as stressful as some things, but it's all on the woman because you don't see Tony hiding these things. Okay? Boyfriend's snoring over there while I'm over there typing up notes like the elf.
You have to do a note too.
Well, sometimes because like for example, okay, her elves Peppermint and Mary had twins, right?
So they had elf sex.
Apparently, I don't know, they rub noses, I don't know. But they had Moonlight and I think the other one's name is Twinkle or something
Oh my
like that.
God, you're so fucking cute.
And so Tony touched the elves. He's not, the parents in our house aren't supposed to touch the little baby elves, right?
Mm.
She was having a fit because she goes, oh my gosh, they lost their magic. So that night, she wrote a letter to her elves asking what happens if one of the parents touch the elves. So I had to respond, write a letter explaining how to recharge their magic if a parent is had touched their elves.
Wait, I actually love this.
Mm-hmm.
Can you write a book? Because I feel like this is like people are so basic nowadays. Like all I see is elf. That's why I roll my eyes at Elf on a Shelf because I feel like the parent just like, ugh. But like you're over here like writing letters and putting effort and naming them. You could write a children's book of this.
I
Wait, because
probably
did you hear
could.
what you just said? Like you, first of all, their names are cool.
Thank you.
Secondly, you're writing how to recharge their magic. Okay, you
Mm-hmm.
need to TM this. No, there's some like no
Well,
offense
I'm
to those
pretty
listening,
you're so
but
funny. But I'm pretty sure that part has already been trademarked as far as like it's like a
okay.
thing
Oh,
where
okay.
if
Wow.
the elf is touched, you have to put them in the Christmas tree to be recharged.
Oh my God.
Or I said the freezer because it mimics the North Pole.
That's genius.
Or you sprinkle cinnamon on them, which also because that's like the spice of Christmas.
Oh
You
my God.
sprinkle that on them, and that will help recharge their magic.
Wait, I want to do this for Angel. Is this
Yeah,
too
you should.
late?
It's no, you should gift her it. It's really cute. The concept of it is really cute. It
What's
really
the
is.
concept?
It's just, the elves come and they're watching you to make sure you're a good or bad boy, right? Or girl. And then every night they hide in different areas and you have to find them. And so they're looking at you the whole time, monitoring if you've been good or not. And so they go home ours go home the day after Christmas. But like Presley has, I don't know if you know what shrinkadinks are.
Oh,
So she has little like okay, so it's like an elf list
oh my
and
God.
she writes everything she wants for Christmas on these elf lists and then she puts it in the oven and it shrinks down to elf size.
I'm crying. I'm done. I need to leave. No,
So
no.
then she puts it on the Christmas tree and then the elf will take it to the North Pole. And then when when they get it, then by the end of the season, it'll be back on the Christmas tree. But yeah, it's
How do you have you ever forgotten? I'd be stressing. I'd have alarms set to remind me not to fucking forget.
oh no, I've shot out of like the freaking bed at times to like, oh my gosh, to where you just like throw the elf because
Yeah.
you can't think of anything, right?
Wait, when are you gonna stop doing this?
So I was gonna do it this year because she has had some friends that have tried to ruin her magic.
Yeah.
And have said,
Whoa.
your parents are the ones moving the elves.
Yeah.
But now that the babies are here, the twins, she's gonna, and that's the thing is some people probably think I'm psycho for this. And she, just
No.
for the record, I bought her her first elf. Every other elf that she's gotten, she's purchased with her own money. So, it's just one of those things. It's like saying goodbye to like her innocence in a way, like the magic. And it's so heartbreaking. And so I, for me, it might be this year. I have to see how she handles it. If
Don't
not,
do.
it'll be 11 because that's her favorite number. So,
But then
and
you're
the
gonna take them away when she's 11 during her
so
favorite year.
so they will stay, and I will have a note that will be delivered to her from the North Pole, and I will tell her that her magic has been fizzling since last year, and that's why she's had some questions. Oh, well, did you put them there? Like, because she's getting it a little bit, right?
Oh,
So I'm going to say, your magic has been fizzling, but it's now your turn. So once you turn 11, you're 11 now. Your magic is gone, but it doesn't mean that it's over. So, I'm going to tell her that you have to keep that magic for yourself for now the little kids and keep that magic alive. And then when she has her own children, she can use these elves and give them to her kids and continue the tradition. So, you know,
don't stop doing it yet.
I know.
Can you wait till she's 13? That's so sad.
Well, and you know what? Another reason why
Oh my
I
God.
can't let go of this
Don't.
is because, okay, so when this whole thing started, she told Tony that she wanted to make her elves a home. So she was
I'm
getting
leaving.
together cardboard, okay, to make her elves a house. Um, Tony felt so bad, and he went directly
No.
into the garage and started constructing an elf house for her and built an elf home for
Where
her.
is it?
And he straight up, I'm telling you, he built it with his own hands like Joseph the
Oh,
carpenter.
no. Is there a picture? I can't
Yes,
deal
I'm
with
gonna
this right
show it to
now.
you. And I took her to Hobby Lobby
Oh my
and
God. There's more.
and bought furniture for it.
Oh
I
my
swear
God.
parents that are listening to this probably hate me
No.
right now for
No.
this.
This is so beautiful. You have no idea. This is some shit my mom would have done had she like had the energy to do all this. Oh my God.
I'm telling you. So, okay, so here, let's see. Let me show you the picture. I'm trying to find it. And the thing is like
Oh,
she's, there's nothing wrong with magic. I feel like sometimes parents feel like it's too much, and I get it. Maybe it is for some. But oh, and then too, here, I'm gonna show you.
what?
Okay, here.
When did he build this? Was this
Can you
year?
see it? Oh no.
Wait, it's blurry.
Oh, here, I'm
Text
just
it
gonna
to
send
me.
it to you.
Oh, I don't want to cry. I'm sorry, everybody. I really ugly cry, so I don't even know what that sounded like, but that was so beautiful, and I can't have you take it away from her yet. Please don't. Wait.
Hold on. Maybe this one is better.
Oh, shit. There's a movie. There's a movie. Oh, God. No. What year
Mhm.
did he make this?
This year. So I told Tony, I said, and then I even put like a family
Are
photo
those
on
the
top of the
baby?
mantle. Uh
Wait, a family
huh. You'll see.
friend.
And that's why I can't end it this year. I told Tony, I said, she's so excited about her house. And, like the parents, Mary and Peppermint, have to stay near the babies to make sure they're okay. I was like, so
Wait,
I have to extend this.
who are the other three up there on the roof?
Oh, that's
Oh my
Candy
God, the
Cane,
picture. Wait, who is it?
Candy Cane and Snowflake.
Candy Cane and
So the
Snowflake.
Peppermint and Mary. And
Oh
then
my
Moonlight
God.
and Sprinkle or Sparkle, or I can't remember, Twinkle, something like that. Yeah.
Oh my
So
God. Oh, that's too cute. Can't they just live in your house without the magic? Like, what are you going to do when the magic leaves? Are you going to pack them up and they're going to go to the North Pole? And then what happens to their house?
yeah, no, that'll still be there. That'll
Oh,
be something that will stay every Christmas and we'll still have. So for
with the
sure.
elves?
Hmm.
Okay.
I'll give her the option that, but she has to take care of them because it's something that she needs to use for her kids. So,
Uh, You made my
yeah.
entire life with this. I can't wait to go upstairs to tell Angel. That totally broke my heart. Like she's so golden pure. Like first of all, kids are jerks. Like screw
Yeah.
the people that are saying, your parent. Like of course, there's always some little punk doing that. Okay,
I
it's because
know.
their parents don't have imagination. But
Hmm.
so perfect example, and you know this story really
Hmm.
quickly. There in high school, I had a
Uh-huh.
friend that every year during Christmas or on Christmas morning, she
Hmm.
would wake up. This is in high school.
Hmm.
And she would wake up Christmas morning and there would be like carrots,
Hmm.
like pieces like on the floor and like
Aw.
and then boot prints
Uh-huh.
in white
Hmm.
towards the window.
Hmm.
And I'd be like, "What?
Hmm.
Whatever." Like, okay, we're like 16, 17 at this point. I'm like, uh-huh, I'm sure because it was the reindeers having a snack and Santa leaving.
That's
Okay.
what I do for Presley.
Wait, is that a thing
I do that for Presley even for the Easter bunny.
with the carrots? Okay, so did I tell you that I woke up Christmas morning that year and
Uh-huh.
there was carrot pieces and boots and I was like I was like, "Wait, what?" And I
Uh-huh.
hadn't told anyone. So I
Mhm.
was freaked out. I was like, "Wait a minute. Like Santa?" And like I
Uh-huh.
was and so So I
Aw.
brought it up to my mom and I kept
Mhm.
talking about it that she got annoyed. She's like, "No, it was so and so's mom called me to do that shit."
You're like, "Damn it."
I was like, "Fuck." That totally had me going though. Okay, so that's a thing. But
Aw.
see,
Mhm.
17, 16, 17.
Yeah, for real, I don't know, I mean, hey, to each its own, but that's kinda pushing it.
Like we're practically able to vote at that
Yeah,
point.
exactly. I would hope you would be able to make your own, like,
Yeah.
judgment
And
about
I
it.
was that judgy. I was like, Okay, I'm
No, for
sure.
real. I mean, and you know what though? Hands down to their parents because they kept that magic alive.
Yes. Okay, I didn't know that.
Hey, I mean, I do, and like Tony said, you do it so well
You
that she
do.
probably would never find out. Because like when she says that kids tell her, I'm like, well, that's because they've been naughty, and so you're naughty, that magic is taken away. Oh, that
You're
makes sense.
amazing. Can you please write a children's book?
I
Like
know Tony
I'm
told me that
over it.
too.
I'm
Tony
over
told me
it.
that too.
Oh, I love this. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Okay,
no
keep
worries.
going.
Okay, I'm just gonna run through this real quick.
Okay.
So the fifth one, did I even get to four? I think that was it. So that was yes, okay, struggling with expectations.
Ugh.
That's number four. So, with work, with family, the shopping, preparing for guests or even traveling, it just becomes a lot. So, prioritize things, make sure that the things that are the top of your list are most important. And it's okay to say no. Okay.
Say that
Um,
again for the people in the back.
it's
It's
okay to say no. Hello.
uh-huh. Okay.
Set realistic
Yeah.
expectations. I think we have this like fantasy in our brain of how the holidays should look like, or we look at other people on social media or whatever, and we think, oh God, why doesn't mine look like that? Or whatever. Whatever you want your holiday to be, make it whatever it's supposed to be. It doesn't make it less special, right? Plan ahead to make things easier for yourself and your family. Number five, sorry, my dogs are barking and not my feet. Um, that's because Pretzel's on her way home. Number
Oh,
five is grief and loss. Obviously, I
oh,
think that's pretty much a no-brainer. When you've lost someone, it's hard and the holidays are the worst. And I know that for a fact. It reminds you of everything that was and that isn't anymore,
Oh my
right?
God.
But ways that I have learned to deal with it is just honor them. Like I have a table that has my dad's photo and has things that he made when he was little. Like he has a little candelabra that he made out of wood. So I put that there with his little tiny ornaments that he
Okay.
made when he was younger. And it's just like pay homage to him and his spirit and, anything that can make you happy, you know? It's also a good time to like get gifts for your loved ones, like personalized things, personalized ornaments of memories, like really beautiful memories that you have with someone that they've lost. Making like pillows, making whatever it may be,
Yeah.
to like keep their memory alive, right? It's going to be hard regardless, but it helps. The little things like that help. And talking about it, and also the morning of a holiday is always hard because you remember that they're not there. Get a good cry out, just let it all out in the morning, and this way you can move on with your day, right?
Okay.
You'll still remember them, but it's just releasing that. Um Number 6 is a lot of people feel disappointed. And I don't know, and I think that's kind of like goes along with like even like birthdays. We always have these high expectations of like holidays, birthdays, how we want it to unfold. And when it doesn't, we get disappointed, right? Maybe we give someone a gift and they don't like it. Like who knows, right? Or maybe you drop the turkey, right? Who gives a crap? The thing is we have to practice grace, we have to practice gratitude, appreciate the fact that we woke up and we're breathing, that we're able to maybe our day is not going the way we want, but we're able to spend it with those that we love. you know
Yeah.
the fact you were able to smile at some point, just do something,
Yeah.
meditate in the morning, like journal about something, like get something off your chest that maybe you need to get off and then move on with your day. Like don't hold on to things during the holidays because it's not going to benefit you in any way or anyone else for that matter. And remember that whatever your issues are on those holidays are not the issues of those you love. And I think that sometimes when we're feeling sad or depressed or disappointed, we tend to somehow carry those burdens and become like, bah humbug.
And I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's where I want to commend you because you've suffered such a great loss, your dad. I can't and you guys were best friends. And the
Hmm.
fact that you're able to be so magical on the especially during the holidays when it's the toughest for
Hmm.
your daughter who was so
Yeah.
close to your dad, like you put aside your grief, you have your cry in the morning, but then you're there with a smile on your face for your baby. I feel like that doesn't get applauded loudly enough.
Mm.
So you
Thank
need to know
you.
that that's amazing because I don't think
Mm.
anyone else could do that. I don't think
Aw.
anyone else, I think people would be in their bed with the lights off, just watching
Hmm.
TV with the
Yeah.
door shut.
Which is what you want to do a lot of times. That's what,
Exactly.
I mean, and it's okay to do that if you want to do
It
that,
totally is. But like
but
what you're doing is like, I can't, that is so hard. That's like,
mhm.
oh my God, I can't even imagine because I think I
Mhm.
would be that person locked away in my
Mhm.
room.
No,
I don't know how you
I
do
get it.
it.
Yeah, I don't even know how I do it
I
either
don't.
sometimes because and you're right, I do it for Presley because I don't want her
Exactly.
to ever look back and be like, I mean, think about it. My dad died the day after her 8th birthday,
Like
and we had a freaking party,
exactly because he would have
for
wanted it.
exactly. And it's crazy because he wrote her a letter or a card in her birthday card. My dad was upstairs sick, and we were having a birthday party for her with her friends. And in the card, he must have wrote it when he was upstairs. And he was like, just to let you know, I love you and I'm proud of you. And I'm sorry I couldn't make it to your 8th birthday.
Oh,
And it's just like,
Christ.
you know, but the thing is that whether it be a birthday, whether it be a holiday, like we're going to miss them. But especially for kids, there's no reason why we should make it bad or sad for them. It's already a sad enough issue throughout the rest of the year. Leave the holidays for something where you get that out and you don't make it all about that. You
You
know.
because the kid does remember, not to say, I
Hmm.
mean, because my mom used to hate the holidays because she had a lot of with great reason, her relationship with her
Mhm.
mom and everything. So there was often Christmases where it was just my dad and me going.
Mhm.
And I remember that. And
Mhm.
I don't blame her, fault her, or anything for it.
Mhm.
I understand.
Mhm.
I missed her, but I
Yeah.
understood, but I remember
Mhm.
it. So
Exactly.
the fact that,
Yeah.
the day after your father passes, you're having to just, okay, it's my daughter's birthday. I got to be there for her.
Mhm.
Huge.
Yeah.
That's like, that is in itself a Christmas miracle, because I don't even know. I
Yeah.
don't.
No. No, yeah, and it's hard and we all manage it in one way or another,
Yeah.
but we do have to realize like our actions affect others. You
Hmm.
know, like sometimes just putting a happy face on, even if you're not, can change the tone, you
Yeah,
know?
it does.
I mean, there's no, you got to try and look at like the good things in even really bad situations. And that's not just for holidays, but in every aspect. Like that's what I try to do. Not
Hmm.
always good at it, but I want to teach her to be like that too. I don't want her to be negative Nelly all the time,
Oh,
you
I don't
know,
think you have to
or
worry about
or
that.
like a victim of circumstance,
Right,
you
right.
know. So
Yeah.
number 7, real quick, is loneliness. We already talked about
Ugh.
it, but another way to manage that is to avoid alcohol because and
Yes.
drugs, because that could really get you going and make you feel even more lonely and depressed, right? Consider volunteering and giving back because it will kind of make you reflect and realize, my life ain't that bad, right? When you're seeing
Yeah,
other people that are even worse off than you, right? And
definitely.
you're just helping, and that always makes you feel good. If you haven't talked to someone in a while, reach out to them.
Mhm.
You know, you may be helping someone and maybe helping you in return. Um, Number 8 is seasonal affective disorder. I don't know if anybody knows what that is, but it's
Is
basically
seasonal
seasonal
depression?
depression.
Uh,
Yes. And that occurs a lot because of the changes in the season. And gosh, when it gets dark as early it has been getting, which I thought, daylight savings time was over with, but apparently it's not over here. That could really do a number on your psyche.
yeah.
So, just consider talking to a doctor if you're feeling low and blue. Make time for things that bring you joy, that can maybe lift your spirits up, and try to take advantage of, maybe go on a vacation, right? Where it's sunny
Mm.
and warm, change it up a bit. No need to stay in your environment. If you can afford it, might maybe try and spend, I don't know, the holidays in Hawaii or Cancun, there's possibilities to change up your environment. Number 9 is managing struggles with alcohol use. So during the holidays, it's easy to go for the bottle. It's easy to, have some drinks with
Yes.
friends, and just be more aware of how much you're drinking, especially when you're stressing out. I think a lot of people, when they're going to their families, I'm going to
Mm.
throw back a few shots just to take the
Take
edge
the edge
off,
off. Yeah.
right? Because you're already anticipating the stress. You
Yeah.
know, be aware of certain triggers, check in with yourself about like certain situations that you're going to encounter, people, moods, and maybe if it's going to make you feel that way, maybe it's best to just stay home, right?
Hmm.
Use your support system. Consider, like calling a friend, maybe spending time with them versus going with your family if they're going to make you that low and blue. um and make a plan. Okay, make a plan for avoiding or coping with certain triggers or family members. It's just, I don't know, I feel like the holidays, you hear a lot about people kind of going off the wagon, and there's really no need for it if you manage your time well and you take care of yourself. And I think that's key for everything, is just take care of you. Like we
Yeah.
get all caught up in the hustle and the bustle of the season. And sometimes, a lot of times actually, we tend to forget about our own needs. And then January comes and we're broke, we're upset, we're going to break up with our girlfriend because we hated her and all season, right? But we wanted to make it through the holidays. And January is the longest month of the year. So
Yeah.
There's no time like the present to just work on you, even through these struggles. Um, and that's it. The holidays are a beautiful time. I love the holidays, but I could see where these stresses can get to people. And not
Definitely.
every year is going to be great. You're going to have some bad years, you're going to have some blue years, you're going to have some fantastic years, but it's really all about how you go about it.
Your attitude. You're right.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
So,
so right. And I hope we're all listening and learning because sometimes we need that reminder for sure.
yes, exactly. So that's my spiel on the
Ugh.
holiday stressors and just, a little convo bringing us into the holiday season. And hope you guys learned a lot about the elf. Steph did.
Oh, yeah. Do you guys need a Kleenex? Like I came here to smile, not sob.
You're so funny. I'm pretty sure a lot of people listening to this just
Oh,
rolling their
oh,
eyes
like
like,
no, absolutely not. You are the freaking standard that people should like try to strive for. Okay.
aw, no,
So on
I
that
try.
note, really quickly, I was looking into adopt a family. I heard about
Mhm.
it a couple years ago,
Mhm.
and then I heard about it again. And so I really want to get into that. So if you guys are thinking about ways to give back, it's like basically, families that are struggling,
Mhm.
can't maybe get gifts for their kids. Oh, don't
Ugh,
cry again.
I
But there's like wish lists, and you
yes.
volunteer and you go
Mhm.
shopping, get their little things on their little wish list, and then it's under their
Ugh.
tree. Okay, I made that through without crying. Okay. I'm gonna
No, I
just shut
love
up.
that. And actually, while we're on the subject, real quick, in the beginning of the month, and I believe it's actually, no, I take that back, towards November, because that's when they send them out. There is, I believe it's called Operation Christmas.
Oh,
And Presley's done that every year since kindergarten because her school does it. But you can actually go to places like Hobby Lobby that does it as well. And it's a shoebox size gift that you could pack as much stuff that you could fit in there. You pick the age group that you want to buy for and the sex. And they give you a list of things that they suggest to put in there. And these boxes get shipped out to like countries for kids that can't afford things, impoverished countries. And it's so cool because you can actually travel with the box and you can actually see the little kid that got it. And it's really nice and just makes you feel all warm and
it
fuzzy. And,
does.
you know,
Yeah. I
I
used to do
mean,
that with
yeah.
a little boy in Guatemala. I used to, and he would write me
Oh,
letters and send me pictures, like
I
playing with
love that.
whatever. It's so nice. And if you're able to, that's amazing. And I love that you're
Hmm.
teaching Presley to do that too, because
Hmm.
she's so fortunate, like she look at her the mother she has, and like Tony and your mom, and
Hmm.
like so like that, like there's babies that don't have that.
Yeah.
So like the fact that she's giving back, she sees and appreciates her life, so she
Hmm.
wants to like let me pay it
Exactly.
forward. So I love that.
Yeah.
And I'm actually trying to look for like nursing homes near me so I
Hmm.
could go volunteer. I've been, I
Yes.
want to make that effort.
Hmm.
So if you guys listening know of any in the Bay Area, let me know. Shoot us a DM. But there's so
Yes.
much that you can do. Volunteer at food banks.
Hmm.
The firefighter does, the fire department always does their toy
Hmm.
drives,
Yeah. Toys for Tots
Toys
and.
for Tots. Like there's just so much that
Hmm.
you can do this holiday season and every year. So do it. It
Yeah.
feels amazing, and you're bringing a smile to someone's face.
I agree. Amen.
Yeah.
Ah, that's amazing. It's so true because there's no greater gift than giving back. That's, you know, like it just makes it's not even about the emotion of feeling good about it. It's just knowing that you were able to like
Bring a
make someone's
smile.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially
Yeah.
to the little kids in other countries because,
Oh,
if you think about it, some of them have never even received a gift.
okay. See, stop.
I will say this, my first husband never had a Christmas gift
Oh, shit.
until he got with me.
Oh,
And let
God.
me just tell you, he bawled his eyes out when we had our first Christmas together because he had never received a present in his
What
life.
did you do? Did you cry?
Yeah, it was so
It
emotional
was
because it's just
pure.
like, yeah, and it's just
Oh,
like puts things into perspective. It's like, hello, I'm in my mid 20s or whatever, and
yes.
I'm meeting someone, and I'm with someone that doesn't
No,
even has never gotten anything from
no.
anybody.
No, that's like the videos that go viral, like of like some senor, the kids got together and
Ugh,
bought him a doll
I
that he wanted
can't.
when he was a little boy, and then he starts crying.
Ugh.
Yeah, on that note.
That's what it was. Is he always, since he was a little kid, wanted a an electric car. So my dad bought him an electric car, a remote control car, and he was floored by it because that was his dream when he was little.
Amazing.
I tell you,
You
I love
that
doing stuff like
I
that,
do
though.
too. I love giving gifts and making someone like just feel like so happy. Like, oh, it just there's
Hmm.
nothing more rewarding than that. It's like lovely. So,
Yeah,
I
no, I
loved this
agree.
episode, Neen. I love this episode. I want you to
Aw,
write a book. I want you to hug that baby for me because she is Christmas and what it's about. So please go squeeze her
aw,
face.
thank you.
Um
I
and
will.
and please don't take it away from her. Please, God, please just think about it, okay? Just think about it.
You're so funny.
I
I
will
can't with you.
cry. I will
I
follow up
will.
with you.
I know you will, and I will try my
Like,
best.
or at least break
I
it to me when you decide to do it. Like,
Yes,
give me a
I
warning.
will.
Don't do it on the air so I can ugly snort into the mic. Um, sorry again, but
Oh my
yeah,
God.
you're
Yeah.
amazing.
No, I won't. So, anyways, it's getting chilly out there. My head is kind of
Oh my
cold.
God, you were this was amazing. I absolutely
It
adore
was.
you. And yeah, that was a riveting episode of Fridays with me, guys. Round of applause because that put me in the holly jolly mood.
Hmm.
And we will see you guys next week for episodes 96 and 97 as we inch
So
our
excited.
way closer and closer to 100. Oh my God.
Woo. Oh my gosh. I could
Ugh.
taste it.
Yes. Thank
Mm,
you
mm,
guys
mm.
so much for listening.
Thank you.
And we will catch you on the flip side. Thank you, Neen.
Oh, oh, there's my husband calling. Sorry about
Oh,
that.
okay. Should we catch it on the flip side then?
I know. Peace out, buddies.
Bye.
Bye.